just one more on Venezuela. The president of Venezuela called the strike on the boat illegal. Are you concerned that Maduro might escalate something?
No, what's illegal are the drugs that were on the boat and the drugs that are being sent into our country. And the fact that 300 million people died last year from drugs, that's what's illegal.
I mean, the illegal attack on random boats in Venezuelan waters is what he's actually concerned about. Because you know why? I'm not sure if you guys heard it. 300 million Americans died of drugs last year. 300 million. I want to say it one more time. 300 million Americans. That's odd because, just to be sure. I looked it up, and the United States population is 347 million, just over 347 million. I even went back to last year when he said 300 million Americans died. It was 345 million as our population. So I'm not sure if you guys realize this. We were down to 45 million people in this country, and that is until, I guess, he came back into office, and there was this boom of 300 million more people that suddenly were born. Man, there's a lot of New Year's babies, a whole bunch of them. What a fucking idiot. And I'm sorry, we're the fucking idiots because we keep listening to him make up numbers that somehow he thinks will justify every action that he takes. Because, for the people who don't listen to those made up numbers that he's got on the economy, from foreign policy to his tariff numbers, all the things that he keeps making up that we're supposed to believe. For the rest of the people, they're supposed to listen to Jesse Waters celebrate it.
Fox News alert: the Coast Guard sank another Coke boat. That was Operation Pacific Viper. The Coast Guard arrested 7 smugglers, seized 13,000 pounds of coke, then sunk their boat. This comes after Secretary of War flew to the Caribbean and told troops, if you see narcos, you know what to do.
What you're doing right now, it's not training. This is the real world exercise on behalf of the vital national interests of the United States of America to end the poisoning of the American people.
It's the constant scare tactics. They know that they've got a bunch of cowards running around in this country like, oh my, as long as we just kill someone, as long as we show videos of things blowing up, then we'll just be like, oh, we're so much better. Let's not look inward and see why so many people are addicted to drugs in this country. Let's not look inward and see the dire positions that our government and our leaders have put so many people into. Let's not talk about any of those things. Let's keep listening to Fox News personalities laugh and celebrate and make really bad jokes.
This is what you call a message. It's well publicized. It's very clear. There's a certain outcome. If you're a smuggler, you're starting to rethink that decision to avoid career day at high school. Maybe selling trinkets on the beach aren't a bad idea. Maybe I should call my uncle and see if there's still an opening at the bodega. Who knows? What a change from the past. We are no longer, as a country, embracing decline. In one video, you just saw the solution for drugs, gangs, and late-night boating. Trump just said to America, I hear you, watch this. The sharks are happy. They just got a big free meal. But this is where the left's hierarchy of problems come into play. They see your problems, which is like crime, terror, drugs, as inferior to the other problems that the media also portrays, which is the rights of outsiders and the authoritarian fantasy that they keep placing on Trump. Those are the bigger problems. Your problems don't matter. Of course, that's why we spent a month talking about the Maryland dad. It's like, here was a guy that abused his wife, that was a human trafficker, but those were your problems. Our problem is that, he's not getting his due process. I prefer that due process right there. What were the 3 big issues that the Democrats really failed America on? Crime, the border, trans. In each case, it wasn't about the criminal, the illegal, or the man in a dress. It was the Dems and the media telling you that their problems mattered more than yours, meaning you've been mugged, that matters less than the mugger not making bail. So your daughter has to undress in front of a guy in a locker room. That matters less than that man self-identifying his gender and having his rights preserved.
I feel like the problem of your daughter's undressing in front of a man in a dressing room would have been resolved if they would have kept Donald Trump's ass out of the Miss USA pageant dressing room where he bragged about going and looking at them undressing.
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like
everything
a doctor.
is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women.
It's almost like they're absolute liars. It's almost like he thinks it's fun to talk about how they're killing people, and that's the end of the drug wars. It's over. Nothing else will ever happen anymore. People are suddenly not addicted to drugs because we blew up some people who actually, I think you guys saw this coming, weren't drug smugglers. None of the 11 people killed in the U.S. military strike on a boat in the Caribbean last week were members of the Venezuelan gang Trinidad Agua, Venezuela's interior minister has said, while U.S. media reported the attack came after the vessel had turned around and was heading back to shore. The administration of Donald Trump has said the boat was transporting illegal narcotics, but has provided little further information about the incident, even amid demands from members of the U.S. Congress for a justification of the action. They openly confessed to killing 11 people, is what Venezuela's interior minister and ruling party head said on TV. We have done our investigations here in our country, and there are the families of the disappeared people who want their relatives. And when asked in the towns, none were from Trinidad or Agua. None were drug traffickers. Why believe that guy? He's the leader in Venezuela, and we don't have to believe the things that they say. Let's believe, our own folks that, as you saw, won't tell you anything. A murder has been committed against a group of citizens using lethal force at Cabello, questioning how the U.S. could determine whether drugs were on the boat and why the people were not instead arrested. How did they identify them as members of Trinidad or Agua? Did they have, a chip? Did they have a QR code and the U.S. military read it from above in the dark, is also what Cabello added? There was no answer. Donald Trump and them said, hey, aren't you afraid? Hey, let's bring up trans folks. Hey, let's say those brown folks are coming to kill you. Hey, let's say you who's on drugs right now, you're better than the other person that you're claiming is on drugs and is a filthy member of society as you go and find your drug dealer. You know what else they've been doing? That was the group of 11 people that they murdered and gave no reasons for, but except America. Also, Venezuela says U.S. Navy raided a tuna boat in the Caribbean as tensions rise there too. So let me give you details of what they did here. This is a separate incident because, we keep on attacking folks because, this is the United States of America. Tensions between the two nations escalated after Donald Trump in August ordered the deployment of warships in the Caribbean off the coast of the South American country, citing the fight against Latin American drug cartels. While reading a statement on Saturday, Foreign Minister Ivan Gil told journalists that Venezuelan tuna boat was illegally and hostilely boarded by a United States Navy destroyer and 18 armed personnel who remained on the vessel for 8 hours, preventing communication and the fishermen's normal activities. They were then released under escort by the Venezuelan Navy. The fishing boat had authorization from the Ministry of Fisheries to carry out its work, is what he said at this press conference, during which he presented photos of the incident. There was also videos of it where one of the folks on this boat was talking about how, they were aggressively detained and held up by American warships. Last part. Those who give the order to carry out such provocations are seeking an incident that would justify a military escalation in the Caribbean, is also what Gil said, adding that the objective is to persist in their failed policy of regime change in Venezuela. Gil said the incident was illegal and illegitimate, and warned that Venezuela will defend its sovereignty against any provocation. But it's all fine as long as we just have Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld say, got him, got him. See those scary brown people? Aren't you scared yet? Are you guys scared yet? Let me tell you another scary bedtime story so that you'll be afraid tomorrow. And then I'll say, America, do you see those bullets and those guns? Eventually, they're going to be turned on you.